So I've been building up to this for a while, but with the holidays upon us, I haven't been able to make this video. And it's in relation to holidays in general, although I hate them for so many reasons to begin with. A new reason to add them to my list is the fucking media, which I can't find a real story to report upon for the life of them, finds it necessary to go back to where major tragedies happened and then report after a year um, their first Christmas without after the tragedy happened or so on and so forth. Now, I'm not sure when the tragedy I'm talking about happened. I don't remember that much because it didn't affect me. So, therefore, I try not to care or think about it. But the tragedy I'm talking about is Sandy Hook. Now, before anybody gets all pissed off at me, I have nothing but sympathy for anybody who lost a child in Sandy Hook. That was a devastation and committed by a jackass who, in another rant, I'll talk about how he was not compelled by video games to shoot up a school. But for this one, I will just leave that one off the table. The night before Christmas, while we're at my family's, one of my cousin's houses for our Christmas Eve Feast of the Seven Fish. We're watching the news randomly right before we're all about to head out the door because they have children and the Christmas season is very complicated to get set up for the little ones. There was a news report done about going back to Sandy Hook and after the tragedy that happened there. Now, I looked it up and I could this could be a false date because I don't know why I think it happened in the summer, but I could be crazy. It said it happened in December 20th, so they had a Christmas after it happened. Obviously, they were still in the beginning stages of mourning, but this year they decided to go back there and film again. And 1 year after Sandy Hook happened, and Christmas is they're moving on, so on and so forth. And I couldn't help but wonder to myself, why the fuck do we harass them to get their fucking grief out there in the open for everybody? I mean, the city. I had never even heard of Sandy Hook before the mass shooting happened, just like I live in Flemington, New Jersey, and I guarantee you, half the people in the world will not know what Flemington, New Jersey is unless one of the two schools in our town gets shot the fuck up. Because, small towns, nobody gives a shit until they have to give a shit, and then once they give a shit, that's the only reason they'll ever give a shit, but it will always be something they give a shit about. So, they already have this stigma of being a small, sort of who gives a fuck town that now is a let's all give a fuck about it town because somebody went into a school and shot children. But now we have to go there every single year and try to elicit a response from them for something that we shouldn't be eliciting a response from them for. I mean, fucking shit happened. Tragic shit. Can't they just fucking move on? Be let to move on? Because let's just be honest here. We're not doing this for their benefit. You can say that all you fucking want. But that law for the gun control, when they tried to pass it, and it got vetoed unanimously by certain people, that was for them. We obviously don't give a shit about them. No, this is for everybody else to feel like they do give a shit and pretend like their opinion on a subject actually fucking matters. We all need to be kept up to date with what's happening over there because that's what's cool, what's hip. A bunch of children are dead. You can't bring them back. We don't need cameras there. Because and furthermore, beyond the point of that, let's just be honest here. We don't really even give a shit about mass shootings. We don't. Because mass shootings happen all the fucking time, all around the world, but I have never once seen any of the other mass shootings that happen in other parts of the world on the news in this country. So we don't even give a shit, really. This is just all part of some gigantic mass media vanity project to pretend that all of us were deeply and tragically hurt by an event that really didn't deeply or tragically hurt 95 to nearly 100% of the people. A small community with family, they have the right to grieve. And they have the right to grieve in privacy. They have the right to grieve without cameras being shoved in their face, desperate to know how they're getting along without their little child that died tragically and probably very painfully. So let's get all the cameras out of Newport, or wherever the fuck it was, Sandy Hook. I don't know what town that was in. It was Sandy Hook School, not the town, New Haven or something. Anyway, let's get all the cameras out of there, and then let's focus on things that actually matter. And World News with Diane Sawyer. Don't call your show World News with Diane Sawyer if you're only going to talk about things that happen in America. Go fuck yourself.